Brilliant. Okay, so we have got Ian from Lightblue here with us today. He's going to help us talk about finding opportunities within your business. Thank you, Ian, for joining us.
Thank you, Debbie. We're talking about finding the opportunities using the data within your business to help grow your business and do more things. So I think one of the things to understand is that the data in your business has value. It's not just about the images that you take within your business, but the data that you have about your clients is super valuable, and there's so much that you can do within that as well. So what do I mean by data? So there's information about the different types of shoots that you do. There's all of the different sales information that you've got, so like the sales totals and the products and services that you've been selling. That's important and useful information. Other information about your clients, so anything really that you know about them is very useful. And also inquiry sources, where your marketing's performing, where that work's coming from. All of that has value to you and is something that you can use. And that data can help you with doing things like changing and altering the pricing, maybe offering more or less of a certain product or service, and more effectively selling or offering appropriate recommendations to existing clients as well. So there might be things that you can offer to your clients because you know more about them. The other thing is, if you know how your marketing's performing, it allows you to double down on the efforts that are working particularly well, and maybe ditching those that are not working so well as well. So that's all those different things are things that the data in your business can help you with. And obviously, if you've got a back catalogue of historical information within your business, then that is very valuable for you to be able to look back and see the trends and how things have performed year on year. But you don't just have that. That's not the only thing that's helpful. So for a business that's just starting out, there is still useful stuff here as well, because there's also value in the work that you've got coming up as well. So you know what you've got booked into the diary, you know who you're working with, and you know what products and services they are currently interested in as well. So there is still value in terms of stuff you can do there. So we're going to cover a lot of that sort of stuff.
Perfect.
The great thing about trying to work with those existing clients and offer things to them is the fact that you are building on existing and established relationships that you already have, which is far cheaper and far easier than acquiring more new leads and acquiring more new clients. Now, I'm not saying don't do that. Obviously, you do need an influx of new leads and new clients as well, but if there's a balance here. Yeah. You can strike a balance, and you can you can spend a little less money on particular marketing, or make it more cost effective if you've then also got extra streams of revenue coming in using your existing client data. Now, the thing that makes this easy is having everything in one place. We talked about all the different things like the inquiry sources, the sales data, and what shoots you've got booked in and the types of work. If that's scattered around in lots of different systems, so if you've got it in spreadsheets, you've got some stuff over there in some accounting package, you've got some stuff in, I don't know, Google Analytics or whatever, it's kind of all over the place. And you then have to spend some time bringing it all together. And that's fine, but it makes this sort of thing just that little bit more of an effort. So having all of this important data in your CRM certainly makes your life a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your CRM should be kind of your source of truth in terms of your business. Whatever CRM or tool that you're using should be really the center of your business, and all of the information should be there. And a good CRM should be able to help you find this information.
Absolutely.
We'll have a look at the different sorts of things that you're looking to find. So one of the first things to look at is sales patterns. So looking at the products and services that you offer to your clients and seeing which ones are the most effective. And if you've got all that data in your CRM, then you should be able to run a report for that. So I've got one in Lightblue here. I can go into my reports menu, and I'm going to run a revenue by product report here, which is one of the built-in reports. And I'm just going to have a look at that. I've got a breakdown here of basically my top products by the revenue that's brought in. I can see which products I'm selling the most of and how many of them there are. So this would allow me to see, that album sales in this particular example looking really good.
Yep.
And that's really nice. It might be then as a result of that, I've not sold that many of them. So maybe I could be looking at, but it's still my top income.
Yeah.
Maybe I could be looking at selling some more albums, and that's going to make if I sell one more album, that's going to make a big difference there with that. And if I sell 10 more albums, even better.
And I think having this data available in reports like this is so valuable, because you can act on what that, what that data is giving you, that information, and save huge amounts of time, and just be acting in the, seeing what's dipping, seeing where you can make more revenue. So perfect.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can be so much smarter with it. I think the other thing as well is not just looking at what's bringing in the most money overall, but like, which of my products am I selling a lot of? Because maybe I could, up that price by 5%, or maybe make a cost saving if you're able to by a little bit, and then that's going to affect your margins. If you're selling 15, 20, 30, 100 of a particular product or service in a year, and let's say you're selling 100 of something in a year, and you then make it £5 more, you make £5 more from it, well, that's £500 you've just you've just gained with
the opportunities are everywhere.
Absolutely.
Analysing the data that these on the reports is super valuable.
Absolutely. So yeah, looking at the products that you're selling is one thing, but also let's have a look at the types of work that you do and what income you're getting from those. So the other thing that you could have a look at, for example, I'm going to have a look at my income for the past few years, broken down by the different types of work that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And in this particular example, I've been doing pet portraits. You can see this kind of brownish one here. I've been doing that year on year. Last year seemed to be a really good year there for that. Maybe I've just started doing weddings here, and that's doing okay there with that. But then you can have a think about, well, how much time am I spending? How much effort am I going into for these particular jobs? Because let's say pet portraits clearly is a big chunk of my income year on year. I've not got so much in this year so far, but maybe I've got more to come. But what if I've actually only done a handful of those, and maybe what have I got? My family portraits. I'm spending loads of time trying to do those. I'm putting loads of effort in. But my pet portraits that I'm doing hardly anything of is bringing me in so much more money. It's like, well, maybe I'm going to look at doing some more pet portraits. Maybe I'm going to do a little bit less of my family portraits because it's not as economical for me to do. Or that might be driving you to think, well, how do I make my family portraits more lucrative? Because clearly I'm putting a lot of effort into that. I'm not saying that family portraits are not lucrative. It's just in the example I've got here, to be clear. But looking at this particular set of data, that's making me ask those questions. This all helps you to make those smarter choices in your business there. The other thing that you would want to look at is really honing your marketing as well. So where your different leads are coming from and your different inquiry sources are, which ones of those are bringing you the most leads, and then how well they're converting as well. Yeah. Now, you're able to see which marketing channel is bringing me the most leads. You can use that, through Google Analytics if you're running Facebook ads, but you might have this stuff in spreadsheets or dotted around all over the place. But it's that, how quickly can you pull that information together? And then how quickly can you tie that to revenue as well? So this is where, again, if you've got all that information in your CRM, all of that should all be tied together. And so it's quick and easy to have a look at. So let's have a look at, I'm going to have a look at, all of my inquiries from the past year. So everyone who's got in touch with me, I'm going to look at everybody who's been in touch with me over the past year, for example, and just have a look at that. I can view those guys. Obviously, I've got these here and I can look at the details of each of these shoots if I want to individually. I could view these in a list. Now this is just one long list here, which is not so useful. So what I can do is I can refine this to say, well, let's break this down. Let's group this by the inquiry source that they came in by. So I'll do that first of all, and I'm going to just group this list by the inquiry source. And then I can see, right, how many leads am I getting here? For example, via Facebook. I've got 44 there coming in via Facebook. I've got 42 leads coming in via Google Ads, 36 Google Organic, 44 Instagram. They're about the same here. They seem to be my main sources. Not so many coming in from my Instagram ads, for example. I've got 1 from a magazine ad. I've got 5 referrals and 7 repeat clients there as a breakdown. Okay, that's interesting to see where are my inquiries coming in. But I might then want to drill that down and say, well, how well are each of these converting? Okay, so I can look at that in a little bit more detail and drill that down. That's another thing for you to investigate within your data. So yeah, how many raw leads are you getting in? But then how well are they actually converting as well? So I'm going to group them still by the source and then how, whether they booked or not. So those Facebook leads that I had there, I had a couple of bookings, that was all, and the rest of those didn't. Okay, so coming in through Facebook, that's not looking so great. Now, there might be reasons why. Maybe all of those inquiries came in for dates I couldn't do if I was a wedding photographer, and that's important information to analyse there as well. This gets you thinking why, and something to explore. Google Ads, similar sort of number of raw inquiries. I've had more bookings come in, more conversions come in from those. Still not amazing, but I'm able to have a look at that data here as well. Obviously, this is all the sample data. Your mileage may vary. And again, Google Organic seems to be on a par roughly with my Google Ads there. This is just, looking at this, you're able to start analysing and working that out. Instagram, I've got 1 open inquiry that I've got there, a few bookings. All those channels seem to be roughly the same sorts of ballparks there. My Instagram ad though, not that many inquiries, converting really well though. So yeah, it looks like I've only got 1 that didn't convert so far with that. The 1 lead I got from that magazine ad did book. So, maybe I broke even on that. I don't know how much that magazine ad cost me.
Because I think that's a good key thing to now look at, because I think people do have, photographers do have regular amounts that they spend on these different marketing avenues to then cross-reference it and see what, how many that's converting, and, is again seeing where you can actually spend your money better and your time and effort better as well. Absolutely,
100%. It's it all makes you want to pull the strings so much more with that. And I mean, we're talking about spend there. So far, we've just looked at how well they've converted, but let's also then look at how well, what the spend is with that. So again, this information is all in one place. So I'm going to bring in information about the sales totals that I've got from this as well, and I'm just going to bring this in as another column here for me to have a look at. And now I've got sales totals and sales averages, which is great. What I'll do is I'm actually going to filter out the ones that didn't book at this point, just to remove some of the noise, because obviously those that didn't book, I don't know, they may have paid a booking fee and then cancelled, but that's probably not so helpful right now. So let's filter this down to just those that have booked and that we did work with, and then this gives me a little bit more focus. So now I can see in this example what my sales totals and my sales averages were for each particular marketing channel, which is super handy. I can see the kind of what my average spends were, what my totals were, for example, and again, this is not necessarily real data. This is just in here. I've got my referred by friends here. Like the sales average here is actually a bit lower than some of the others, some of like my main marketing channels, which is interesting. I think in real life, if this were real data, this might be the other way around, where you might see your sales average to be higher from word of mouth referrals. But in this particular example, my sales average is lower for my referrals. That probably means that the people who my past clients are referring are maybe, I don't know, there's not necessarily a good match there, or like maybe they've not had so much of a look at my marketing materials beforehand and my messaging, so maybe I need to do a better job with those people of priming them before we get to the sales session. That could be it, because let's say, look, my sales averages for, in this example, Facebook, for Google Ads, for Google Organic, all seem to be around about the same sort of figure, and that looks fine. So those people maybe are seeing all of my marketing before they get to booking, and they're in a better state. So maybe I need to look after those word of mouth referrals in this example. All of this stuff, having those bits of information just helps you make smarter decisions. I'll tell you a story. I used to run a mix of marketing channels. So I did a lot of Google ads, and I did a little bit of Facebook ads as well. And I wasn't getting that many Facebook ads coming in, bookings coming in. I thought, I'm not getting loads in, I'm gonna kill it off. I wasn't spending much money, but I'm gonna kill it off. Before I did that, I was like, let's just check how many inquiries I am actually getting from this. And so I did a quick search. So I shoots that had, an inquiry source that was Facebook ads. And I ran my query for that. And I was right, I was not getting that many inquiries from that. But they were booking really well. And in that particular example, my sales average, not in this one, but my sales average was actually really quite high from that as well. So they were booking, they were converting well, and they were spending pretty well as well. I was like, I nearly on a whim did that. And I was like, nope, let's double down and do more of that instead. So yeah, you can stop yourself making some silly decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. Data is key to making those informed decisions.
It really is. Yeah. So yeah, it just helps you to dig a little bit deeper. So all of that is helping you just kind of pull the levers and steer the ship with what you're doing right now. But let's also look about how you can work with clients again. So your existing clients, how can you work with them again? So one example might be if you're a newborn photographer, you've got these other milestones where you can work with clients. So around about the 6-month mark, you might be looking at doing a sitter session. Around about the 1-year mark, then a first birthday or a cake smash or something like that. You've got these other milestones, these other opportunities. So going back and having a look and saying, hey, find me, or find all my newborn shoots that I did 5 to 6 months ago. Find me all my newborn shoots that I did 10 to 11 months ago. Those are about the times when the clients are going to be starting to think about this sort of stuff. And then you can go and reach out to them. So again, that's a really easy thing that you can do if you've got that information in your CRM. I've got a query set up here to do exactly that. It says, find me all my newborn shoots I did 5 to 6 months ago. I've got a couple of them here. I could then reach out to them and say, hey, do you want to book that sitter session, and same for the 10 to 11 months as well. So just being able to search for that and find that is really, really key to being able to do that. Another obvious example is wedding anniversaries as well. Offering anniversary portrait sessions is another key thing that you can do from there. So taking a look at that. So I've got a query here that shows me anniversaries that are this month. I've got anniversaries that are next month there as well. But you could look at those, weddings that you did 11 months ago, for example, as well. So specifically for that, you can have a look and find those people, because it might be that you're offering that as a first anniversary thing, and then there's other things that you can offer products and services to clients coming up to that. So
I think this actually highlights the fact that you actually do need to take quite a bit of information from your clients, through a simple form or something like that they can actually gather the data, whatever genre you're doing, because I think you can still celebrate things, boudoir, pet photography, newborns, families, anything like that. So some data, obviously, you can then pin it down and be retargeting them as you've just mentioned.
Absolutely, yeah, and I mean a lot of this is just keeping with the day-to-day information. The fact that I booked that client 5 or 6 months ago. I shot that wedding, 10 months ago, 11 months ago. And that's just keeping that information with the day to day. But then, yeah, absolutely. If you've got further information with your clients, about extra things that you know about them, then there is so much more that you can do with that too.
Because it's hard. Obviously, you've got spend when it comes to getting new clients in. So that's obviously a whole field which we've just covered there. But I think obviously there's what can you do that's just what opportunity is sitting there in your CRM, which can be hit again, not necessarily just with them clients, them themselves. That can be hit with referrals as well. You're trying to get them to invite somebody else in or anything, but that data in there is perfect.
For sure. And you're gonna have clients there that are like your best clients, your VIPs. So you might want to find people who've spent over a certain value with you,
right.
So that you then maybe try to work with them again or do something. So yeah, here's something. Find all your clients who've worked that you've worked with who've spent over a certain amount. Is a good thing to have a look at. So all my clients with sales that are greater than let's say, I don't know, £2,000 there. I can search for those. I've got a list of them here. I could add a tag. I've already got to add to these people, but I could have a little tag or a label to say these are my VIP clients,
right,
and then it's easy to work with them again. And then you can do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Once you know who your best clients are, you can do all sorts of things to work with them again.
Yeah. Because to be honest, I mean, setting a tag for a VIP client is absolutely a brilliant idea, because I think then you want to be, they're your client avatar, they're your perfect client that you know are going to be purchasing. So they're the opportunity to buy again, but same with their circle of friends.
100%. So there's all manner of things that you can do with that circle of friends there as well. So hopefully that word of mouth referrals search that you did previously is going to start to look a whole lot better as well, because you're going to have more people referring you who are a better fit as well. So yeah, that's a handy thing. One more thing you can look at with your past clients is clients who ordered a certain thing in the past or didn't order something. So for example, you might search for all of your portrait clients whose spend was under a certain value, because maybe they didn't go for one of your collections, or maybe they went for like a lower value collection, which means there's still money on the table to offer them something later. Or similarly, you might go through and look at all of your past weddings and say, right, who did or didn't order an album, and maybe label them as well. So yeah, like searching again for that. So I'm just going to have a look for shoots. I'm going to have a look for all of my confirmed shoots that were portraits, family portraits. And I'm going to have a look at those ones, but maybe I'm going to have a look at the ones who've got a spend under a certain value as well. So I'm going to have sales that are less than £500, for example, are probably under a certain threshold. Maybe they've gone for a basic collection or something like that. Those are people I could offer something to again there. Or say, hey, I've still got your images on file, let's do something, whatever. You're going to be full of great ideas and stuff. But it inspires you to do stuff there as well. And similarly, I can have a look let's have a look at my weddings. Because what I can do with that is I can have a look and find all of those that did or did not order an album, for example, as well. So let's have a look at the weddings that were before today. Never see the wood for the trees. Start date, there we go, is before today. So this is just historically everybody, all of my weddings. And then what I can do is I could go through and I could add a label for those that hadn't ordered an album, for example. I can check what package they had. I can add a label for those that didn't order an album, and then I can have a search to say, right, find me all the people who didn't order that. And again, hit them with an album offer, do something else there. So there's lots of different things that you can do with that, and just by having that information there, which is really valuable. But something you touched on earlier, which I really like as well, is gathering more information from clients, and what I would say call enriching your data, so making that data richer than it already is. So things like, just as an idea, I kind of already showed about adding tags and labels there, and you can create all sorts of tags and labels for all sorts of things. Maybe you're a family photographer, or maybe you're a personal branding photographer, and you're looking at branching into pet photography. You could go and add a label to all of your clients who you know or have mentioned that they have a dog. It's like, brilliant. Okay, you could be my first wave of clients right there with that. Or similarly, you might be a wedding photographer who also does personal branding, and you've got, a bride who's a business owner. Wonderful. Pop a label on there, and I'll, after I've delivered the wedding photos, let's circle back and see about getting some personal branding shots in for you and that sort of thing. So again, you're not having to spend the money on marketing to get that personal branding
absolutely.
client. So there's all sorts of things that you can do. And then I guess the other thing you can do, and I'll just touch on this really quickly, is for clients that you've got booked in already. So we've looked at all the historical stuff, but then clients that you've got booked in and coming up, you could offer other stuff to them. So they've committed to a session, which is wonderful, but then it's all about using that data, what you know about them, to make appropriate recommendations to your clients, so that you could potentially make more money from them. So one thing would be like, find me all of my my family shoots that are coming up. All my family shoots that are in the future, for example, will be the thing to have a look at here. Let's see, start dates. There we go. And then here's after today. So I've got these are all my booked family shoots. I could reach out to those people and say, hey, I'm doing an offer to get them to commit to some wall art or albums or print packages or something before their session. You could send something called a proposal to them, effectively just that would very gently sell, allowing them to, you could package it as tailoring their experience, something like that. So before your session, I just need to gather some details from you. So I'm just double checking who's coming along to the session. I want to know more. So I've got a questionnaire for you. I just want to help tailor the experience for you as well. So I can send them a questionnaire, a questionnaire like this one here, that talks about my approach, maybe mentions some of the products and services that I've got, and some nice pictures of the wall art here as well, and then allows them to tailor their experience and choose one of the package tiers, and maybe some add-ons and things as well. And you can have them to leave as it is, like, I'll choose stuff later. That's fine. So there's no sense of a hard sell. It's just, I'm just putting this in front of you.
And nurturing them. I think it is just leading them to where, to what, I think a lot of clients don't actually know what they want a lot of the time. That's what instigates them, just asking for the price a lot of the time. So I think having something like that you're putting ideas, it is a really good nurturing sequence to get going before the actual shoot.
Absolutely. So some quick wins to wrap up. Some quick wins would be to identify your past clients who either haven't ordered a wedding album, if you're a wedding photographer, or only ordered a particular package, only ordered a digital package, or clients with a smaller spend or went for a smaller connection. Find those people and then send outreach messages to them with some sort of time-limited special offer. So that would be the quick win or the homework that I would recommend.
Amazing. Right, get on it.
There we go.